Let's go to another undefeated team real fast, and that's the University of Central Florida. And I picked this game because we haven't really talked about Central Florida, and that's mainly the reason why I picked them, because I know you were upset because you think it's going to be a blowout. But I really like Central Florida, and the committee still wants them out of it. Like, they're at 15, and they moved up just a little tad bit, which I don't understand why they would move up. They should have stayed in the same position because they just beat lowly UConn, first of all. So I'm just not understanding what the committee is doing. Penn State beats Rutgers. Oh, yeah. Scoot them up. UCF beats UConn. What a good win that is. Scoot them up. It's just like a little pat on the butt, and they're like herding cows. Like, come on. Keep coming up in the rankings. Yes. So Temple is favored by 14 points.
No, not Temple.
I mean, UCF is favored by 14 points over Temple. Yeah, not Temple. It is in Lincoln Financial Field.
Ooh, wait a minute. The home field advantage. You can hear the 12 fans yelling in there.
Yeah.
Go Temple.
It's supposed to be chilly. It's going to be really chilly. And shout out to Mr. Bogret. It's his birthday weekend. It's very close to yours. Yeah, we just had a
Where's my
birthday.
shout out? I cannot believe you shout out old Jimbo Bogret, but not me.
Really? I was leading to you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. I said it, so it's a transition sentence. Come on, I took those classes for a reason. I got to transition.
Bad. See, that's why you're the professional. I'm just.
So we had a belated birthday with Tim Bussey right here. He had his Tuesday, and yeah. Well, I found out he didn't know what my birthday was. I was a day off, so that's what we found out.
A day off. I was a couple months off.
Yeah, he kept going August, July. Didn't say June. Then he jumped to April, then May, and then he finally got to June.
Okay, but a couple things real fast before we go any further. One, I have 4 kids, and I can barely remember all their birthdays. And I always have to ask my wife what her birthday is. It's either the 21st or 22nd. I think it's still the 22nd. But what did we do for your birthday 2 years ago?
We went to Williamsburg, Virginia.
Okay,
and I rode so many roller coasters.
So kiss my butt.
But also had to fight off your daughters.
well, not fighting them off because they were wanting to sit with you or anything. They were fighting you because
not in a romantic way.
They look at you as another brother. Yeah. Yes.
Now, Central Florida, I don't know if you've watched them, but I really enjoy them. And I have another soundbite because this is what I know. Yeah, I have some really classic songs that I really like, but Orlando, and it's party time, and this is what I hear. Oh, party.
Oh yeah.
Caramba, fiesta. Yeah, I love Central Florida. I have 3 of their players on my fantasy team. Mackenzie Milton. Oh yeah.
Oh, you know what?
You love this song?
I haven't shook my hips like this since 1982.
But I love Mackenzie Milton, 2,720 yards, 22 touchdowns. You got the running back with almost 600 yards, 8 touchdowns. And then Traquan Smith, 761 yards, 10 touchdowns. This team is partying, caramba. They've already beat Memphis. You're going to see that in the highlight reel that we have on YouTube. And then you have Temple. They just beat at Cincinnati. They beat them on the Friday night game, 35-24. So I'm going to give a little upside to Temple. And then you have them beating Navy, 34-26. And this is all because Frank Newtile, the new quarterback, has stepped in. Collins finally was not a bozo. I'm not meaning to call him a bozo, but
no, you just called him a bozo. So
I meant it. But he's supposed to be like the minister of mayhem. And Mr. Bogret called bullcrap on that since he hasn't been causing any mayhem.
Yes.
But finally, they put in Newtile, and over the past 3 games that he's played, 883 yards, 6 passing touchdowns, and I think he has like 2 rushing touchdowns as well. And then you have David Hood with 397 yards, 3 touchdowns. And then their wide receiver, Isaiah Wright, 541 yards, 3 touchdowns. If they get him more involved, they might have a chance in this game. UCF has not really been challenged at all by any team. And I think if I was going by the spread, I would pick Temple to be under the 14-point spread. Just because of the way they've been playing. They're in a groove. You know how a team gets in a groove and they start winning a whole bunch of games. And they beat Navy, they beat Cincinnati, and then this is where they're little... I mean, they're trying to be bowl eligible, but UCF is trying to prove to the nation that they are a team to reckon with. And I was really disappointed that they're still number 15 because this is an offense. It's about like Central Michigan, but they were higher than 15, last year. At least give them some credit. But I love my UCF Knights, and I'm going to have them keep running all the way until they make it into the top 10. They won't make it to the college football playoffs, but they would definitely make it into the top 10. And I wish we had that playoff scenario like me and you were talking about, where UCF could have a chance to play those other teams and work their way into the Final Four if they were good enough, but we'll never get to see it. But I'm going with the Knights. What are you going with, Tim? I know we're all going with the same picks. We shouldn't even have had a show this week.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
UCF huge.
UCF huge? How many points?
Oh, I wasn't. This was a little bit of my. I was having a sit down protest.
Oh.
UCF huge.
Nothing out of you.
No.
Man, we're not talking about Temple. I want to hear what you're talking about with UCF's rankings. How about that? What do you think about them?
UCF huge.
No, we're not talking about the game anymore.
Okay.
Should they be in the top 10 after the season if they stay undefeated?
Yeah, but that's the nature of the beast, and that's why I'm telling you. Last year, it was a perfect example of a MAC team. Again, as a MAC team, Western Michigan went undefeated. Where did they go? They went to the Cotton Bowl. They played a 10-3 Wisconsin team, and Wisconsin beat them. Not badly, but beat them. But they beat them a Wisconsin way. I know you want to see Wisconsin beat teams by 50 points. They just aren't that type of team. They just are ground and pound, and they win. But
punch them around.
You saw that with Houston. Houston had one loss a couple years ago with Tom Herman, and they ended up playing
Oklahoma
Florida State.
And Florida State. They
beat Florida State that year in I can't remember which bowl it was, but it was a bowl 6.
So the AAC is kind of different because South Florida actually won their bowl game last year as well. So I mean, it's kind of different than the MAC because they've actually been winning their games, except for Temple last year. They lost to our Wake Forest Demon Deacons, who we'll talk about soon. I know. Yeah, they destroyed them because Temple couldn't get a hold of our plays.
Yeah, go figure. Yeah, when the plays aren't being released, look how much better your team is. So there is something to be said about equity here, in that there should be a chance, and that's the problem, and that's what I have a whole problem with this whole system is. Yes, the AAC, and I'm not saying this as a slight to anybody. I'm just telling you the way it is. The AAC is not looked upon as the 6th team in the big of the 5. It is Big 10, SEC, ACC, Big 12, Pac-12, and then if you were to take my hand and move it about
a couple of inches, yeah,
I'm going to go about 26, a yard. It's about a yard, and if you see my arms spread out, then you have AAC, and closely tethered to that would be the Mountain West Conference. Okay. You can't forget about it. See, because we don't see Mountain West games because
like
they're
San Diego State
7:30, 8 o'clock at night. Well, yeah, San Diego State
Boise
is constantly
State, they're
playing
in the top
late.
25 now.
So they get totally disrespected too. But it is also the conference from which they reside in, and that's just the unfortunate part of things.
And that's what Central Florida's got to deal with. You know, teams like Tulane and Tulsa. Well, Tulsa was pretty good last year, but then they lost their quarterback and a couple other people. And then they did beat Memphis, which is good for their resume. Mm-hmm. And then I think they're going to have to play South Florida in the championship game because I don't think they've played them yet. I don't think they have. But
there are the haves and the have-nots. The haves, let me tell you again. The haves and the have-nots. And
it's just their resume. Here's their last 5 games since I have it. You know, they beat UConn 49-24. They beat SMU. SMU's actually pretty good. We've watched them in the past. They have 2 great wide receivers in Trey Quinn and Cortland Sutton. And then they go out and beat Austin
Peavy.
Yeah.
Not Peavy. That was a baseball player, Jake Peavy.
And then they beat Navy 31-21. And then they beat ECU 63-21. So, I mean, it's just they are beating these teams by a lot. And they are partying and caramba and fiesting, but it's just not against big teams. If it was different.
See, and here is when I go back to our scenario of breaking it down to 4 major conferences. You put UCF in the ACC South conference of a made-up conference that I made that would have, like, if they were to go in and beat a Clemson and a Florida State and a Miami in that season, then you're looking going, yeah, they are legit.
Yep.
But you can't tell when they're playing UConn, SMU, and Navy.
Yep.
You just can't tell. So that's why.
So everybody's going UCF.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Erick put UCF. Wait. Big.
Big.
Huge. Huge.
Oh gosh. All right.